Mass Audubon's Boston Nature Center, there is a program learning about bees. And I don't know anything about bees. I know, well, little something, but this is a program, and they're going to be doing it. It's actually free, and it's going to be given by the Boston Area Beekeepers Association. So I'm going to check it out, and I'm going to take you with me. So yeah, so this is the Boston Nature Center, and I'm on my way now. Let's learn about some bees, some honeybees. All right, so I'm here. I had to park my car way up on the other side because the road's blocked off because they're doing some tree removal, and that was unexpected. But I am walking. I am on the ground. I'm almost here. About to make it to the nature center now. All right, so I finally made it to Mass Audubon's Boston Nature Center, and I'm gonna check out the Boston Area Beekeepers. And so I'm excited, actually. This is why I wanted to come over here. So they actually have Adam and Pete over here, who is actually part of the Boston Beekeepers Association. So this is some of his gear.
1 to 4. So yeah, so that should be that's right. Yeah.
Beekeeper suit, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
It's good that that other little thing.
He's gonna show how he deals with the honeybees.
Yeah, let's talk next week.
Yeah, this is Peter from the Boston
Area Beekeepers.
Boston Area Bee, and I said it right when I came up here. I don't know why I just chopped it up. Yeah, so this is Peter. He's gonna give us a little insight on what the organization is. That's pretty much it. So nothing, deep, but yeah. So
all right. So hi there, everybody. So Boston Area Beekeepers Association. We're a number of people, beekeepers. Beekeepers tend to be people who are pretty into bees, and we talk with each other a lot and whatnot. And we have a facility up here at the Boston Nature Center in Mattapan here, up on top of the hill. And we have a number of little beehives that we keep on a yearly basis. And we get together, some mostly by email. We have the Meet the Beekeeper here on Saturdays. And we do a lot of things at schools and whatnot. We've had observation hives, which is where you can actually see the beehive in action throughout the year: spring, fall, summer, and winter. And we also have talks every Saturday. So we'll talk about that more later.
all right, cool. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so I went and got my beekeeper suit, so I will be joining in the festivities. Looking so forward to this, man. Like I said, I know a little bit about bees, very little. So I'm here to learn more today at the Boston Nature Center. And as you see, we have the Boston Area Beekeepers who's giving the presentation. So let me put my suit on.
So what we'll do is we'll just talk a little bit. I'll show you some stuff, and then we're going to take a walk. It's about, I don't know, it's a tenth of a mile up this way to the beehives. All right. And I've got an actual, so I've got a hive here. I've had a hive here for 5 or 6 years, and I've got a chore that I need to do. All right. And I'll talk about that. Well, I'll talk about it now. So, you can help look. That's right. Yeah, we can all look. So what happened was Omar,
Yep.
yeah, mentioned that there's something called colony collapse disorder, which is it's a terrible thing that happens to bees, where all of a sudden the hive will just be abandoned, and there won't be any honeybees left. And a lot of people don't really, they've been trying to figure out why. One of the things that they think is the cause is that honeybees get a parasite pest called varroa, which infests the hive, all hives, and basically they attach themselves to the honeybee right at the neck, and they suck the blood. It's terrible, and they debilitate the bees. So they're worried about that. So varroa is a big problem with beekeepers, because to get rid of varroa, you need to fumigate the hive with some type of gas. And if you want to eat the honey, you're not allowed to fumigate the hive, because the USDA, rightly so, says you don't want to introduce chemicals into the honey that people are going to eat. So it has to happen in a certain way at a certain time, or you have to use a certain way, a certain type of chemical. I use a certain type of chemical called formic acid, which you may know about. Formic acid is what ants actually exude naturally. It's a scent that allows them to find out where they are, but it kills.
Right on the ground?
Yeah, the ants on the ground. Right.
I've seen that from wildcats.
You have this. You probably know about that. That's right. Anyway, you use this formic acid, and you put it in the hives to fumigate the hives for 2 weeks. But there's a temperature range. If it goes too hot, it can hurt the bees. And I'm afraid that what happened was I put it in here, and my queen died from the formic acid. So here I am in the early July. The bees, it's going great. And there's like rain and flowers and honey being made and bees going in and out. And the queen's now gone. You know, I didn't see any little eggs, which I'll talk about in a minute. So I bought a new queen and put her in, and I'll tell you about that too. I looked a week later, and sure enough, she was laying eggs, and I saw the little bees, and I'll explain that in a minute. But today is the first day that they're going to start to emerge from their cells. So that's what I want to see is if we're going to see some new larvae. So that's my job, and you all are going to help me do that. So I'll just sort of backtrack from that little story to sort of the bee story as quickly as I can. So honeybees, again, are insects. They have, you know, the parts of insects: the head, thorax, and abdomen, and they've got, you know, 2 wings. They're fuzzy, as I said. All right, and honeybees themselves live in colonies, big colonies, 40 to 60,000 honeybees in a good sized colony. Colonies used to be in trees and in bushes, sometimes in the eaves of buildings. People used to keep honeybees in what were called skeps, which was like an upside down bowl, and they make the honey. But in order to get the honey, they had to kill the bees, right? So that turned out to be not a good idea. So what happens is,
So we made those hives?
they made these hives. That's right. That's right. So a very smart man in the 19th century, he was a preacher, made something called Langstroth. His name was Langstroth, and he made these hives, which are basically boxes with a whole bunch of little frames inside. So here are the boxes, here are the frames, and the frames all have what's called foundation, which is like a thin sheet of beeswax that the bees will then draw and make honeycomb out of. A honeycomb is a hexagonal shape, and a hexagon is interesting because it stacks very, very efficiently all together. So these are hexagons all in these frames. There's like 2,000 probably in this picture. Now the other interesting thing about bees is bees are all male or female? What do you think? All female, all right? It's a matriarchal society, with the exception of a few males out of the 40,000, maybe a couple hundred. And the only reason for the males is to inseminate the queen at the beginning of the season in April. Then that's it for them. That's their job. They just hang out for the rest of the summer, but in the fall, before the hive goes into the winter, they kick out the males. They just kick them out. I've got videos of them just dragging them out and then dumping them. And that's it. And they die.
That makes so sense.
It's terrible.
You don't be like kick because they can't kick.
No, that's right. That's an expression. But The males are kicking. I'll tell you that.
I guess it's a better fate than the black widow, right?
Well, there's another story about the males in the mating flights too, where they basically die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought they just got kicked out. I didn't think they got killed.
It's a totally matriarchal society. Of the 50,000 bees, 40 to 60,000 bees in the hive, there is one queen and one queen only. There can't be two. If there are two, they'll fight like to the death till one kills the other.
Till one dies?
Till one dies, that's right. So you can only have one queen per hive. Now, a hive, okay, so here you got this box, all right, and there's no light inside, so it's like dark, dark, dark. So how do the bees get around, do you think? Do you have any idea? What senses would they use to get around?
Antenna? Antenna.
Antenna, yep, that's right. Antenna, smell, a little bit of sight, but not much. It's mostly smell. The honeybees do all of their work by exuding different chemicals that smell a different way. They can smell the queen. They can smell when the queen's happy. They can smell when the queen's not happy. They can smell when honey is coming, or when nectar is coming into the hive. They once they're out of the hive, they can smell flowers. They can smell this. They can smell that. It's unbelievable. So anyway, so in the hive, when I pull these out, this is what we're looking for right here. All right. And what this is these are, if you want to come up and take a peek here, these are cells of eggs. So there's an egg inside, and there's food, and then what happens is the honeybees cap it over, and the larva grows inside, and when the larva is ready to come out, it emerges out. This is a good distribution of brood. You want to see something that looks sort of like this in the middle. You don't want to see a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. You want to see this, because the queen, what she does is she lays eggs all day long. All right. Well, she's got to make 60,000 bees, so she has to lay 60,000 eggs over the course of a summer. It takes 21 days for the bee to develop from an egg to coming out. Bees live for about 3 weeks, again about 21 days, and they have different jobs. When they emerge, they clean cells, they clean other bees, they process the nectar, right? So what happens is honeybees, the way that they make their food is they go to the flowers, okay, and they get two things. They get nectar, which is the liquid, sugar liquid, and then they also get pollen, which is that's the way that flowers reproduce each other, and that's why they're helpful to apples, blueberries, almonds, everything, because they pollinate one flower to another, so that the flower will then turn into a fruit. If the flowers aren't pollinated, they'll just wilt and die and then go away, and you know, the almond grower doesn't have nothing to sell. So, but it's interesting, farmers who raise blueberries and fruit and almonds, all they care about is the fruit. They don't really care about the honey. So what they'll do is, across this country and in other countries, there'll be beekeepers who have lots of bees, like thousands of hives, and they load them on these big trucks and drive them to California, to the Central Valley in January. Then for 2 weeks, they unload the hives, and when the almond trees flower for 2 weeks, the honeybees do their work. Then when they're done, the beekeeper puts the hives back in the truck, and then they drive to Oregon. They drive to Maine. They drive all over to anywhere where the fruit is being and the flowers are blooming. So there's a whole schedule, boom, 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 of how they do that. So, but the bees. Well, what's interesting is bees make more honey than they need. Right? So they need a certain amount to overwinter. They need about 60 pounds in a hive to overwinter successfully. But sometimes they'll make 120 pounds, or they'll make a lot. So that means that we get to keep the extra, and that's what I've got. So I've got, you know, I've got a storage unit in Dorchester. I've got like some honey that I have to process, probably about 50 pounds. So it's amazing how much we do. So what happens is in our hives, when we go up, you'll see there'll be probably 2 boxes. Mine has 2 large boxes. That constitutes a hive. Then these smaller boxes on top, those are what's called supers, and that's what you can harvest at the end of the summer. And that's what I'll do. You'll see mine. I've got two deeps and then 3 supers. So I'm gonna have a lot of honey today. When you see a honeybee, like here,
Yeah, they're inside.
you can see the hair is covered with little dots. These are the pollen. All right. They've got what's called pollen baskets here, and they gather the pollen and they take it back to the hive. The nectar, which they make into honey, that's for energy. That's the carbohydrate. That's what keeps them going. The pollen are the minerals and the proteins. You know, so it's sort of like this is the protein, and then the honey is the pasta. So honey's the pasta. This is the the beans or the meat, and the vitamins. And then they also need water. They all need water to process honey. So they need the 3 things. Those 3 things. So this is an interesting photo. So what happens is sometimes the way that bees reproduce and make more hives is sometimes one hive will get to be too big for its spot, and the bees will decide, we need to move out. So what will happen is a queen will move out. She'll leave the hive, which is too crowded, and she'll take all these bees with her, right? And it's called a swarm. And you've probably seen in the news, usually in the springtime, you'll see a lot that they'll find a swarm somewhere, like a picnic bench at a park. Or I was telling Mike, you know, the San Diego Padres baseball team, they would have like swarms on their dugout roof, you know, and stuff like that. And groundskeepers have to figure out what to do because they don't want to have thousands of bees around. So what's interesting is inside, so this dude has got like a little beard. There's a queen bee inside, probably on his chin. And all the other bees will surround it. And they're very, very docile when they're in this state. So if you can find the queen and take her with you, then the rest of the bees will follow. So that's how you make a new hive. I had my bees. They were doing great. July, I did the treatment for the varroa. I looked and the queen was gone, so that was bad. The bees are in 3 sizes. There's, I'm not sure I've got a slide that shows a queen, but the workers are 1 size. Drones are a little bit bigger. The queen is the biggest. And the way what'll happen is that might be a queen there. I think that is. What you can do is when you buy a queen, the beekeeper will put a little dab of paint on the back of her, on her abdomen right here. It doesn't hurt her at all, but it allows you to see the queen right away. And they have 5 colors of paint, and the reason they do that is the paint color corresponds to a certain year. Honeybee queens live for maybe 2 to 3 years. So this year the color is red. So when I go in, we'll look to see if we see a little queen with a little red dot on the back. It makes it easier to see. But so getting back to when I lost my queen, so I went to a place up in Tingsboro and I bought a new queen, and she comes in a little box like this. And it's pretty interesting. So you can take a look at it. So the little box has 2 holes in it, and it's got this screen, all right? And inside is the queen, and my queen is marked, so there was a little red dot, and they usually put another little bee in there to help her keep her clean and feed her and all that sort of thing. And this business here is what's called candy. It's like a little, it's actually candy. It's sugar that forms a plug. When you have a hive of honeybees that's just lost a queen, If you put another queen in the hive right away, they'll kill it. They'll kill her because they smell her and it's like, whoa, what's the smell? It's probably bad, so they kill her. So what this does is when you put this in the hive, so I just take a rubber band and I stick it on one of these things, face out, and the bees smell her for a couple days and get used to her smell. Meanwhile, what she'll do is she'll eat her way out through the candy, right? And then emerge. If she doesn't emerge, then you have to take the little screen off and dump her in. But anyway, so it's kind of a clever little device. Other things, when we go up, we will open up the hive. Now the hive is their home, so basically it's like a home invasion, right? So when you take off the lid and whatnot, the bees will be like, "Whoa, what's happening?" So the guard bees, or the bees that protect the hive, will come out and they'll start swarming around. What you do to help that is you use what's called a smoker, and you put stuff in here, and you light it up, and I've got a little formula that I use, and you smoke the bees. And what the smoke does is it does two things. It masks the pheromones. Hold on a second. Which means that they can't smell, because what will happen is some bees will exude a pheromone saying, "We're under attack. Everybody get into war mode." What the smoker does is it sort of masks the pheromones so that they don't get quite into attack mode. Then we'll open the hive, and you just want to be careful. Smoke each time, and you take the boxes off and set them aside, and just keep going deeper and deeper. You really need to be careful every time.
All right, so
Okay. Yeah, because a bee sting in the face is a bad deal.
my
Once I
beekeeper
got
suit.
stung on the finger by a bee.
Yeah, check me out.
Yeah, we need a picture. All right, everybody, we're going up through this way, so and I'm going to get dressed up there. So
Okay. I think I'm just gonna leave
So
it.
there's no one size fit all, but just.
yeah.
Am I good?
You're good, man. You're good.
Okay, I thought I had a kid one on. It
Even under.
felt like a skinny bee suit.
Oh yeah, that's cute. I love that.
Hey.
All
All right, so we're heading over to the hives now. He gave a little talk
Exciting, isn't it?
about the bees.
We wouldn't have avoided this one.
So I got my outfit on. I think it's a little snug. Or, I don't know.
Those things could sting you.
Okay, so the hive we're going to go look at, I'm trying to think, I think maybe what we'll do is, because it's so crowded in there, my hive is the tall one with the two green things on the top. I'll probably go in myself, get some stuff, and then I'll bring the frames out so we can all take a look. Okay?
Thank you.
But it's so temporary, and the stuff's so costly.
No, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't particularly hot. Then sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually take leaves and to make smoke. Put them in there. Like just that. This. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'll bring I'll bring, as I say, the frames out. So if we take a look, a lot of these hives will have some of them have deeps. So there's two different types of boxes. Well, actually, backing up even further, there's two different types of hives here. There's the Langstroth hive, which are the boxes, okay, and those have the removable frames. Then this long, skinny dude right here in the front, that's called a Warre hive, R-W-A-R-R-E. And what that is it's basically a horizontal hive where the frames are stacked like this inside, boom, 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 boom. It's also removable frame. It's just a different way to make a hive. What's that?
When you smoke it, they're just gonna come out?
When I take the top off, they'll come out.
Oh.
Yeah, they'll come out. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do a couple little puffs at the entrance. I have two things. I have a hive tool, which is what it's like, basically a little liver, and then a bee brush, which is a very soft brush to brush bees away.
I see bees. I see some bees right there. I can see bees.
So here's so here's what's called a super.
Can we go over or should we
Yep,
stay
sure, come on over. Yep. And it's got, each of these has 10 frames. Yeah, so, and usually what ends up happening is most of the activity happens in the center. So, okay, so here you can see, these are all, this is all the little hexagonal drawn cones. What's that?
They don't scare me.
Well, it's still a good idea, I think. Yes, you can start to see.
Oh, I see honey, I see honey.
Yep, you see honey, you see water and nectar.
Do you want to go see guys? Go
So
look.
that's good there. I want to make sure there's no queen here, so I don't lose my queen.
We don't want the queen to die.
Yeah, we sure
She's
don't.
the most important.
She is. It's always a she. All right, so here, this is honey. That's what honey looks like.
That's the.
That's honey right there. Yep.
But that's a lot. It's not. It's just not.
Yeah. So these bees are all working the honey. So it's on both sides. All right. So what? Yeah, it is. So what Langstroth did, which is brilliant, was he figured out that bees need a space. It's called bee spacing, 3/8 of an inch, to move around and to do stuff. And if anything, if things are bigger than 3/8 of an inch, what they do is they start filling it up with a glue, a bee glue called propolis. So the reason that these hives work is because they stay relatively close, 3/8 of an inch, so that the bees can go up and down and move, and you can take them out. They're a removable hive. So this means you can harvest the honey, and you don't destroy the hive. It's really brilliant. So there it is. So that's all honey. You want one to land? Well, yeah, you may not want that. Okay, I'm going to take this back over here. And then I'll go. They will eventually head back to the hive.
And they're staying right there.
I am surrounded by bees. This is crazy. I am surrounded by bees.
I'll head back, but I wonder if they stick with the same one. Well, in theory, they do have a queen bee per
Now I'm going to look
That's their queen
for my cap brood.
So now, do they get agitated when you're doing this?
A little bit, but usually
I'll go back to the plan. So let's go back.
they're pretty
Gets the special
pretty docile.
Okay. I noticed it's swimming around like a lot now, so I was just curious.
They will, and as we get closer to the
I don't know if we're doing it in phases right
bottom side, they make it move.
Okay. I think I'm gonna back up here. Okay, so I'm just now leaving the Boston Nature Center, and that was really cool to learn about the honeybees. And that was presented by the Boston Area Beekeepers. I'm going to put all the information in the description, their website, and also, you know, this is hosted at the Boston Nature Center, which is a Mass Audubon site. A Mass Audubon site. So yeah, so always, you know, come check them out, man. If you go on the Boston Nature website, Boston Nature Center website, or if you go on the Mass Audubon site, click down the Boston Nature Center. They have their programs, what they have. This is actually free, and it's going to be running for a couple more Saturdays. So today is the 12th, I believe. Yes, the 12th. So this is August 12th. When I made this video, I'm not sure when it's going to go up, but it'll go up soon. So, you know, like I said, hopefully they have time to check out the other ones. But check out the website. They have more some programming, so you might want to check them out. So yeah, so I am leaving here. Had a great time. Got to learn about some bees. It was really cool. Peter did a great job talking about it. And so Peter works with the like I said, the Boston Area Beekeepers Association. That was pretty cool, you know. So yeah, time to go. So I had to park on Harvard Street because the road was blocked off. There was some tree removal. So I am working my way back now. But listen, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got to learn something about some bees. I certainly did. Like I said, I'm not really knowledgeable of bees, so I'm always willing to learn some things. All right, so listen, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and stay tuned for some more content. I was doing something different this time, you know, and I'm gonna switch it up. But thanks for watching. All right, see you soon.